You're listening to the Endless Party Radio Show with the Doc on Colossal Radio.
Our guys here behind the scenes have us ready to go with a phone call and a great interview that I'm very grateful that Dave, the bookie that does all of our PR for the show and the station, reached out to an incredible talent, and we are happy to be able to have our special guest on board here with us, a man in Hollywood, California right now by the name of Dominic Pace. Dominic, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me, and hello, good morning to all your listeners.
Man, this is great to have you on board here with us. I don't know how Dave nailed this one down. Did he pay you? Did he have to pay you?
Absolutely, and we're Italian here, so I think he owes me more. And if he doesn't pay up, you know what happens. You know?
That's it. There you are. And the Brooklyn and the Brooklyn River is really close to us here, and right up there in New York. And it's like there's a river that doesn't tell right there. Listen, we have Dominic Pace on board here with us, and a star action figure in Mandalorian. It is a great pleasure to have you on board, and tell us. Let's go right to the get-go, man. I handled an interview for many years, unlike anybody that you've already talked to, and I like it that way. Where did it all start for Dominic Pace, man? Where did it all start?
Just adrenaline rush from the High School Musical. I hate to be cliche, but it was a High School Musical. I actually had hair at the time where I played Danny Zuko. I played Danny Zuko in Greece. I had 1,000 people pack in the auditorium in Ossining, New York, just about 40 minutes north of New York City. And the adrenaline rush was unlike anything else. I love sports. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love to pitch. But I already started feeling the arm kind of tap out even in my senior year. I flew close to 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
And obviously that adrenaline rush was only so much. So it really was in high school. Then led to Off-Broadway, and then little by little, I came out here with a baseball movie called For Love of the Game. I was featured as one of Kevin Costner's ball players on his Detroit Tiger team.
Right.
And then from there, 2002, I just had a steady diet of co-stars and guest stars on very popular TV shows and crime dramas throughout the years. And then I've been a lifelong Star Wars fan my entire life, so this was obviously, in and of itself, its own category, such a dream come true with this Mandalorian opportunity.
That is really all encapsulating there. And when you moved out to Hollywood, did you have anything on the docket at that point? When from the east to the west, was anything ready to go, or did you just go out there on pure drive and let's say adrenaline to I'm going to make it?
Well, I did have one. It was just a very cheesy fine arts film that was bought by Miramax. I was flown to Singapore. I did a very cheesy version of Saturday Night Fever called That's the Way I Like It. And I ended up having a supporting role. I was the only American in this first-time internationally distributed film from Singapore. I think you can catch it on Netflix or whatever. But I play this cheesy version, this caricature of John Travolta. So I had that, but with one little thing on your resume and an ocean of actors, yeah. I had to get to the grind. Everything from, the stories of waiting tables and all that. That was my entire life. But in 2002, I met a great old-time agent who represented the likes of Lee Majors and Bob Barker and Carl Malden, and he took me under his wing like I was his son. And he just started getting me all those little bit cop roles on television. And I've had a nice career. I can't complain. As a blue-collar actor, it's been very rewarding, let's say that.
Yeah, man, that very cool. Now, there's so much going on. Let's talk about what's going on with Mandalorian and your character, where people can find this if they're into Star Wars. It's kind of like a sci-fi western. It's kind of like a sci-fi western, right?
Yeah, David Filoni and Jon Favreau are the creators. They are huge fans, and I think that's what the Star Wars fan base really wanted, was they wanted fans to take over the franchise, and they've done such a great job with the past 6 episodes there. I mean, they literally are, the Baby Yoda craze, they said that it's ranking higher than some of the presidential candidates. Everyone's just really going crazy over this Baby Yoda. I've been a lifelong fan. I've been a blue-collar actor. I'm from the Northeast, where a lot of you are from. to where we grind it out. We take any job that puts food on the table. This was a simple makeup test. This wasn't an acting audition. And the fact that I got to be my own unique, one-of-a-kind bounty hunter in 2 of the episodes, featured and potentially getting an action figure next year, is just beyond words. When I was 6 years old, George Lucas was so ahead of the time. We had such great 80s movies. Robert Zemeckis, and we had Richard Donner and Spielberg. But George Lucas was really ahead of our time, and I mean, especially the action figure for the kids. I mean, he pretty much, of course there were figures before that, but he pretty much created that whole lore in the toy industry. Which just launched. I mean, to such high proportions there. So. I was one of those kids from the 80s, and I love those side characters, like Greedo and Hammerhead and Squidman and Regis and Klaatu. I own them all, and the fact that I may possibly be a side character myself, where some kid is playing with my action figure, is just beyond words.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, and you say action figure. Did you ever think you'd have your own? Listen, I have a bobblehead. Do you have a bobblehead? I have a bobblehead. I don't have an action. I should be an action figure too. That's what I should be. But did you ever dream you'd have your own action figure? Isn't that crazy, right?
It really is. It's amazing. I call it my own Academy Award because the reason I wanted to get into this business was for the escapism. I'm here. The only definition for me as an entertainer is to make people escape and to make people happy and to cheer up their day. And for me, part of that when I was a kid was the lore and the fascination of action figures and play sets. My kids now, everybody's on their phone, with YouTube or social media.
Yep.
But we grew up in such a great time where we were able to use our imagination. If you gave me that He-Man play set or the Jabba's Hutt Palace play set, I mean, I could have hours of fun in my room, and it just led to so many hours of creativity, and obviously to have that is going to be a dream come true.
How about it? That is so cool. Everybody knows Dominic on board here with us from Hollywood, California. Dominic Pace and Dave the Bookie. I use Dave the Bookie only because it sounds illegal, and I have many people that'll email me every day going, do you guys do bookings? Like, is he really a bookie? It's like, no, but it just, it's kind of like, he's my bookie. He's my PR bookie.
Okay.
Dominic Pace on board here with us from Hollywood, California, and Dave just checked in. He goes, may the force be with you. That's what he said. Yeah. So now we know Dominic Pace, his role in Disney's brand new and fun and awesome streaming TV show, Star Wars Mandalorian, where you start alongside, as some of you know, maybe not know, starred alongside Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. That had to be fun too.
It was. I mean, as an Italian American, not to get cultural, obviously we understand the inspiration of the Rocky series.
Yeah.
People who've grown up in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. The Italian Americans and African Americans have come up the ranks in so many ways throughout our country, and it was that movie was more about the fight and the struggle, not of boxing, but also of life. So to be alongside, to be sort of his right-hand man there for a brief few moments in episode 3 was just a dream come true. The man's presence, his career has been second to none. The man is, I can't believe 70 years old because the way he carries himself, even after 14, 15 hours, is so amazing in terms of his work ethic and his talent, not to mention his amazing presence and amazing career. So it was certainly a dream come true, especially as an Italian-American from New York, to be alongside this amazing legend.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's an awesome career. I want to go back to and touch base on the action figure, Dominic Pace, and on board here with us, and the action figure that was created because of his character in Mandalorian. For those of you picking this up and listening to us now, which we have by the thousands across the country and locally here as well, proceeds. Would you like to touch base on where the proceeds are going with the sale of your action figure?
Absolutely. Peter Mayhew played Chewbacca, I think, for the majority of the episodes of Star Wars, and he passed away last year. His wife has started up a foundation called the Peter Mayhew Foundation, which is based out of Texas, and it leads towards multiple great causes, not only throughout Texas but throughout the country, making dreams come true and adding financing to people that may be in need for health risks or health issues and such. So I have been in touch with the Peter Mayhew Foundation, and it's a one-of-a-kind Black Series figure, which is the most sought-after action figure from Star Wars, but it's one of a kind as of right now. So I'm going to be donating that along with a couple of autographs for a silent auction or raffle for the Peter Mayhew Foundation within the next couple of weeks there.
Wow, that'll be that's great. Any chance that you're getting back back east at any time? I mean, is there a schedule that you're coming a little closer to to us here on the East Coast anytime soon?
Absolutely. Next year is going to be chock full. I'm actually taking a step back with acting. It's going to be chock full of all the Comic-Cons. And right now we have one potentially planned for Rhode Island, but also Cincinnati, Greensboro. We have one in Pensacola, February 23rd. And then all over the country and even the world, I'm going to be heading to England on Valentine's Day. So look for me there pretty soon, and I'll be announcing on all my social media platforms just in terms of any of the local conventions that are coming up there. It's going to be a pleasure to meet all the fellow Star Wars fans. I've been a fan my whole life, so this is going to be such a joy.
That's fun. We not too long ago we had a guy by the name of Larry Kenny on board here with us who does a lot of the Comic-Cons all over the country, and what a great what a class act he was. You'll have to Dave. I know Dave's on board. We'll have to hit him up with Larry Kenny's info for Dominic Pace and put him in touch. Together. This guy's somebody to look up when you get to Comic-Con. The guy's amazing. With all that said, we have a couple of projects that are coming up. We have something like an upcoming film we can look forward to.
That's correct. Yeah, there's one called Anonymous Killers. It's one of the most thought-provoking scripts and screenplays I've had the privilege of being a part of. It's called it's based on 5 killers who come from all different walks of life, and it's sort of a reflection of society to where half the audience may sympathize with these people who have killed. They have been kidnapped by a secret society, and the other half may not care and just say, hey, look, the rules are the rules. We all come from struggle. Unfortunately, you've got to do whatever you have to do innocently and by the law, the way to come up the ranks in life and the way to get ahead. But it's definitely a great, thought-provoking sociological thriller. I star as Romero Scarinelli, and look for that to be either on Netflix or Amazon probably mid-time next year there. And really excited. Anonymous Killers is the title of the film.
Yeah, very cool. I got to say, with the Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Dominic Pace, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I'm looking at the at the one shot that Dave put together and a PR shoot that was done, and let me tell you, like you look badass there. I mean, you do. I mean, you look badass for real. Like you there's no holes barred with Dominic Pace in Mandalorian there with that PR pick. I can tell you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, I think every Star Wars fan will be able to relate, not only to be in the universe, but also the same, your own one-of-a-kind, unique bounty hunter, and my own species, believe it or not. The makeup artist was inspired by a Greenpeace project he worked on 2 years prior, so there was no other species like my character, not to mention, I think, the first 6'4" bounty hunter in the galaxy. It just is a dream come true. We did not die, so I don't know what his fate is going to be in terms of moving on within the series. And then also, Star Wars goes backwards and forwards and sideways, and also with fan fiction. So very exciting years ahead. And again, as a Star Wars fan, I don't have too many tattoos. I just have a couple of my son's names. But I'm going to get one for the first time, a big one on my shoulder of the character, just because it means that much to me.
That is awesome. I'll tell you how. Looking at that too, and let's just touch base on the character again, Mandalorian. How hot was it in there? How long did you have to stay in costume?
We're about 14, 15 hours. It took 2 hours to get on in the morning, about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then to take it off. Unfortunately, it was glued to my head, the prosthetic, so it took taken about an hour to take off. So about 14, 15 hours. But I got to tell you, it's like it's a labor of love. I guess I would compare it to Rudy Rudiger, where getting smacked around by Division I football players for most of us does not sound like a lot of fun. But when you get to run on that football field for the first time, even if you get smacked and laid out, you're sitting. You wake up with a smile because you're living your dream. So it was hot. It was uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong. If it was a modern-day crime drama, I'd be kicking and screaming the whole way. But even the 2-hour process in the morning was just priceless, just because I've been a lifelong Star Wars fan, and it was a dream come true.
I'll tell you. How about that? Being as you referenced in this interview, being an action figure, Star Wars, that whole concept, as a little guy, and then with a dream, staying at your craft, doing what you love, obviously, and then it come full circle where you get awarded this opportunity with people that are on board, no matter what age, people that are on board with this show, younger people that are in school that know this whole Mandalorian series, that'll go back and listen to this interview, people that want to get into theater or anything they want to do in life. What advice would Dominic Pace have for them?
To treat every job as a privilege. That would be the way to sum it up. A lot of times, look, people are looking at the Academy Awards and you're looking for those big dreams. I think it would be compared to, say, a minor league player, to where, hey, you need to appreciate the small victories. I throw 95 miles an hour. I got drafted by the Angels. I'm in AAA. It's really to appreciate those moments, because unfortunately, to fit in between the lines of the jobs, there's a lot of odd job work that you have to do. Mm-hmm. So if you stay humble in that regard, we just lost a legend today, Danny Aiello, who was a Greyhound bus driver until he was 40 years old, until he got that one little break in The Godfather. God rest his soul. And even Chaz Palminteri as well. It takes a lot of work just to get a little bit ahead in this country and in this world, but to appreciate those moments and to understand that the world and the country does not owe you anything. You have to work hard for each and every opportunity. Do not come in to this town thinking that they owe you something, or this world, whatever business you do, and then a lot of good things happen, and that's where you're able to have a very positive demeanor by staying grounded.
Listen, if you get a chance, you're busy. If you get any chance to listen to any show that I do from this point forward, this isn't because you just said that, but you can throw a post on my Facebook page if you wish, and you ask anybody on there to comment on Dominic Pace's point that he just made is something I've said all along, and it's something that I've was raised with, where my father, who would teach us growing up, the world owes you nothing, so you make your own way. You learn to keep pushing forward, and if you're doing what you do what you love, and make no excuses, and know that you're going to start from the bottom and work your way up. That is amazing advice, and we've heard this many times from people in your position, and myself, that I've learned it, and I've had to live it only because of the foundation my parents laid. So great advice from Dominic Pace, from so many of you know him from the Star Wars Mandalorian series, and I don't know, great stuff. We say it all the time, and well said, especially right here going into a new year and around the holidays. When you bring up, I will give you a little bit of fun trivia with Danny Aiello. Mm-hmm. My father, back in the day, was good friends with Danny Aiello. My father too drove Greyhound bus out of the Port of Authority in New York City, and was good friends with that whole entourage for a little while before Danny came from driving Greyhound bus and getting a role in The Godfather a long time ago. My dad would often tell that story to all of us. So how about it? You make your own way.
Absolutely. And again, to take pride in those odd jobs. A lot of times people are ashamed of them. I don't care if you're bagging groceries. I don't care if you're a greeter at Walmart. If you get up every day and you're working hard for your dream, you deserve respect. It's those who, think that they're above it all and think they're too good for this job or that job, and I've always stayed grounded. I've come from red carpets. I've come from major guest stars on national television. The next day I'll be right in a taxi cab driving, whatever I have to do in order to make things work. And again, to stay grounded. I think a lot of it's that Northeast roots that we have from all of the immigrants that came in, whether you're Italian, you're Irish, Jewish, African-American, Spanish. We've had our parents taught us to work hard and to stay humble and to stay grounded, and a lot of good things come out of that when you have that mentality.
Well said. Like I said, I enter into these interviews a whole lot differently than most. I have no script here in front of me. I like when I do this with people like yourself or people in the music industry or and I can go down the list from the Ted Nugents all the way down through the Leonard Skinners and the ZZ Tops. And it's like all I do is enter into these interviews to show the real side of people, that we are all real. Whether it's Dominic Pace out in Hollywood, California, and on hit series across this nation on Netflix and Amazon and TV, and to get a real authentic feel for these people who you watch, and knowing that they're just like us. And I could not have asked for a better 20 minutes, 20 plus minutes with Dominic Pace from Hollywood. Kids, you mentioned that we have a couple of kids. I mean, you're certainly a great role model. You could tell already as a father. Where's our family lie here? Dominic Pace's family.
Absolutely. I've been married for almost 20 years to my lovely wife, Geraldine Pace. She works at Paramount Pictures in the archive department, and we have two amazing sons, Dante and Bennett. They are 14 and 11. My son, Dante, he's got a little bit of nerves tonight. He's got his first dance, and I just wish I could jump into his body just to give him a little bit of that confidence. You know, sometimes you got to go up to that girl, you know, and say, hey, you know, even if you want to go invite him to get some fruit punch together, you know, the poor kid is shaking in his shoes tonight, but I wish him all the best. And unfortunately, every boy, we have to go it alone in terms of having that courage to finally make that that first proposal of would you like to dance?
Yeah, there you go. I never did that. I always actually I went right in and I said, would you like the French kiss? That's what I would always do. And that was always at the church dances. I felt sacrilegious, and that's why, I don't know, that's what I did. And I've never been back to church yet. I've never been back to church yet. Kids, I was like French kissing women in the sanctuary. I felt awful. I'm only kidding. I'll tell you, wow. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think it gives you a real authentic feel, man. Dominic Pace on board here with us for a little while. From Hollywood, California. I don't know. We need to stay in touch, man. I'd love to hear of upcoming projects, things that are going on. I know Dave will with your PR people, and anything we can do to further promote, whether it's next year getting to Comic-Con here on the East Coast, whatever we have to do. If you're at that and that is open to people that want to like meet up and hook up with you guys, then by all means, we can do a phoner when you're in the back of a limo or taxi cab. If it's only for 5 minutes and where you're going, we'd love to help out and do whatever we can.
Hey, that'll be terrific. Again, just put it out there. I have no guarantee needed. Just as long as they take care of flight and hotel, I'm there, and I'm able to sell the merchandise. But also, please send me your address after we go off the air. I'd love to send you about the 5 to 10 signed autographs so you can give them out to your listeners there. Maybe have some contests there. That would absolutely
be awesome, man. And listen, don't hang up. Let's say our goodbyes right here off the air. Dominic Pace on board here with us from knowing him from the series Mandalorian. Absolutely awesome job.
Lehighton, Palmerton, Gem Thorpe, and nationwide. It's Colossal Radio. Find us online at colossalradio.rocks.